Donald Trump has made his pick for labor secretary. It's a guy named Andrew Puzder, something like that. I don't know how the fuck you pronounce it, but it doesn't matter because fuck this guy. He's the CEO of Hardee's and Carl's Jr., the fast food places. Now, every day we come out here, we tell you his new picks. They started bad and they somehow got worse. Mike Pompeo for the CIA, a guy who said, we should execute Edward Snowden. Jeff Sessions for Attorney General, a guy who says, good people don't smoke marijuana. And he's going to be in charge now. He has the ability to crack down on the different states. So if they legalize marijuana as they did in Colorado and California, Attorney General Jeff Sessions could go, that's cute, I disagree. And since federal law overrides state law and marijuana is illegal at a federal level, maybe I just come in there and crack down on all of it and shut it all down. He can do that. Drain the swamp, right, Don? Okay. He also criticized a white civil rights attorney and said, you're a traitor to your race. He said, I used to be cool with the KKK and think they were good guys. Then I found out some of them smoked weed. You're beginning to see a picture here. Steve Mnuchin from Goldman Sachs, the criminal organization that had fraud as a business model. Treasury Secretary. The president of Goldman Sachs controlled the federal budget. The guy is appointing the swamp and then some. Betsy DeVos, a Christian fundamentalist who doesn't believe in public education, to lead public education. You ready for this? Now we got another piece of the puzzle. And again, I keep saying it, but it's actually true every goddamn time I say it. We may have the worst pick here. Now remember, Donald Trump, he ran on, at times, I mean, he contradicted himself every 33 seconds, but sometimes he would say, look, I'm fighting for the working man. I'm fighting for the working man. Hey, that's what carrier, you're not going to, I'm not going to let you push your jobs overseas, okay? You're not going to outsource. So he would say, I'm going to do infrastructure spending. I'm going to look out for the forgotten man. I'm going to protect Social Security and Medicare. So obviously, for labor secretary, you picked a liberal, right? Because it's not me, it's you who said, on these specific issues, I'm actually somewhat liberal. I'm protectionist. I don't want to outsource deals. I want to look out for the workers. I don't want to be negative towards the workers. Okay, well, this guy, Andrew Puzder, let's go through some of his policy positions. First of all, he's against Obama's overtime rules. Okay, what happened? I thought you cared about the workers. Well, that's a reform that helps the workers a lot. I mean, it used to be the case that about $23,000 a year and less, that if you made that, you get overtime by law. Obama came in and said, no, $47,000 a year and less. You know how many millions of people that helps? That helps a lot. Doesn't matter. They say, we don't want it. It helps workers. It cracks down on the business owners. Cracks down. Makes them make a little bit less profit. Can't have it. He's against Obama's overtime rules. He's against paid sick leave. Oh, no. See, now understand the United States is the only modern industrial nation that does not have paid sick leave by law. There's been some talk about that recently. Hey, maybe we should start moving in that direction. The Democrats are on the page. The Republicans. To be fair to Trump, his rhetoric on the campaign trail was more open on issues like paid maternity leave than any Republican had ever been before him, and I even gave him credit for that. His plan wasn't as good as Hillary Clinton's on paid maternity leave. She gave more time, and there were more aspects of hers that I liked. But you know what? Hey, at least he gave something. Nope. This guy's against paid sick leave. So you can forget that. You know what else he's against? A minimum wage increase. We have a minimum wage that is not a living wage. You can work full time, and if you make minimum wage, you don't make enough money to survive. He goes, yeah, what's the problem? 80% of the American people, a majority of Democrats, independents, and Republicans say, yeah, raise the wage. Where's the issue? He says, no, I'm not going to raise the wage. I don't agree with that. And also, you need to understand some other basic facts about the minimum wage. If it just kept up with what it was in 1968, so if you just adjusted for inflation and made it equal to what it was in 1968, today it would be over $10 an hour. If you tied it to productivity, it would be over $20 an hour. If you tied it to the earnings of the top 1%, it would be over $22 an hour. So this idea of, oh, don't be crazy, it would lose jobs. The economy would collapse if you raise the minimum wage. Really? So then why is it that in Australia they have a minimum wage of over $15 an hour and they seem to be doing just peachy? So all the arguments against it are bullshit. It's corporate propaganda to keep the profits high and keep screwing the people, the working class. And this guy who's going to be the labor secretary, who Trump picked for labor secretary, he's like, yeah, no, I love that. I love that. I want to keep screwing the workers. You're going to pick somebody for labor secretary who is against labor. I'm still not done here. He's against healthcare reform. He's for deregulation. By the way, what led to the subprime mortgage crisis and the Great Recession again? Yeah, it would be deregulation. He loves Ayn Rand. Ayn Rand, of course, the libertarian writer who is as extreme as it gets in libertarian politics, where, basically the idea is the only thing government should do is, protect property rights, and everything else is theft. Taxation is theft, period. So you can have a court system, you can have police, but anything outside of that, you're getting crazy there. So all the social safety net programs, Social Security, earned benefit programs, Medicare, Medicaid, forget all that. Public roads, are you crazy? It's theft. You want to tax the rich and poor and make infrastructure? Oh my God, you're a fucking thief is what you are. Ayn Rand. I mean, they're usually when kids are teenagers, usually when you're a teenager, you go through an Ayn Rand phase. I read all of Ayn Rand's books. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them. And it's appealing to like a fucking child. Oh yeah, selfishness is actually virtue. Yeah, that's what it is. And then at some point you grow out of it. Not him. Yeah, Ayn Rand. I love Ayn Rand. Still haven't gotten to the two biggest facts. You're thinking, come on, man, we just went through all, this guy's the worst guy ever. Okay, wait for this. He's for automation. So he told Business Insider this year that machines were, quote, always polite, they always upsell, they never take a vacation, they never show up late, there's never a slip and fall or an age, sex, or race discrimination case. So let's understand that. The guy who Trump wants for labor secretary wants to replace labor with automation. The person you want for labor secretary is supposed to be on the side of labor. Automation is going to happen to a degree anyway, and we're going to have to find ways to ameliorate the downsides of that, of course. But you shouldn't have a labor secretary on the side of the other, on the side of the thing that's taking the jobs. But he is, he's on that side. I mean, this is unbelievable. And then finally, if it wasn't bad enough, he and his wife gave more than $300,000 to Trump's campaign and to the RNC. Drain the swamp, lobbyists, lobbyists, billionaires, corporations, they're buying our politicians. And our politicians are puppets. Remember in the primary debate, is Jeb a puppet? Look, let me just tell you, is Jeb a puppet? Believe me. I mean, look, he took money from this billionaire. I think he's a puppet. Let me just tell you. He was talking about Woody Johnson at that time, the head of Johnson & Johnson, billionaire. And Trump was calling Jeb a puppet to that guy. Fast forward to when Trump got the nomination and he was in the general election, who came to Trump's team and started raising money for him and giving him money? Woody Johnson. So, look, all the attacks, it was all fucking window dressing. I mean, the guy, he yearns to be somebody like Hillary Clinton, an elite establishment insider who gets a pat on the back from everybody at the cocktail party. It's what he's always wanted to be. So now he's in a position where he could be that. You think he's really going to look out for the common man? All of his appointments say the exact opposite. And even when he did something that was decent, like keep the carrier jobs here, the devil's in the details of that deal. So, first of all, they said originally he's going to keep 1,000 jobs here. Then that became 800. Now it's 700. Just keeps going down. And so over 1,000 jobs are being shipped out. And what did a carrier get in return? $7 million tax subsidy. Plus deregulation. The details of that deal are not great. I mean, look, I'm happy that some of the jobs are staying here, but it was mostly good salesmanship that he's pitching to make people believe, like, oh, no, he really cares about the worker. Really? Then why is his labor secretary pick not on the side of labor? Anti-labor. I mean, you couldn't get a worse pick than this. I mean, this guy is the epitome of a corrupt, greedy billionaire. And they donated money, man. They donated money to Donald Trump, and Donald Trump put him in his administration. That is exactly the thing some people voted for Donald Trump to stop. Because this is a Hillary Clinton move. Oh, you donated money for me, now let me do favors for you. Well, Don, you're doing the exact same goddamn thing. Dude, you're not draining the swamp. You've become the swamp, and it's incredibly, incredibly transparent to anybody who follows the facts.